and welcome everyone. I'm Monica Wiki.
Yeah, and I'm Logan Raider, and this is New Mexico Living, and the vibes are high because it's Friday.
We are having an excellent morning so far.
We looked at Pekingese, the dog, for a long time, and we laughed very hard.
We had the strangest course of
Google
conversation today, ranging from Wasabi, the Pekingese dog that won Best in Show at the Westminster Dog Show
yes.
not long ago,
We were
all
belly
the way
laughing.
to the Roman Empire.
Let me tell the story. So I was sitting there, and Monica's like, I don't know much about the Roman Empire.
really
I wish I
don't.
knew more. I love facts about the Roman Empire. I'm a guy. And so...
Does that,
yes.
if you're a guy, you automatically
Remember the
want to
meme that was going around where it's like, what's your Roman Empire? Like,
No.
the guys are randomly...
not
How many
remember that.
times do you talk about the Roman Empire if you're a guy?
No.
It was an internet thing. You are offline, though. You are one of the most offline people of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we're sitting there talking about the Roman Empire, and we're going through some facts and stuff. And I was like, surely, I'm like, let me hit Monica with a little facts so she won't know this. I said, oh yeah, what's the capital, the capital of the Byzantine Empire? Take Monica's cam.
And I said
and
Constantinople, modern day Istanbul.
Right away. Right away.
I knew one thing about the Roman Empire.
And at that point, I knew that Monica is one of my weirdest friends who has all this erroneous, crazy knowledge in her brain. A lot of it geological.
Geographical.
Wait, what's
Geological would be rocks.
You know about those too.
Not really.
Geographical, geological, potato, potato. It's Friday. All right, we're golfing today. It's gonna be fun. I hope you guys are having a great day.
Yes.
It's Friday. Yeah, vibes are high. Keep them high. Let's have a great show for you.
Yeah.
We have an amazing first story for you. This story.
I changed
This
it.
story is Monica. You changed it? Ah. Dang it. Well, we were going to talk about the tarantula
And I
infestation,
said
but I
no
guess
because
we're-
Logan just said we
Why'd
needed
you
to keep
do that?
Logan just said we needed to keep the vibes high on this Friday, and having a story about tarantulas was absolutely going to plummet the vibes.
You changed my first story without telling me.
I did.
That's co-host
Sabotage?
espionage. Sabotage. Okay.
This one's much better.
Well, let me read the
this
script.
This one's much better.
Let me read the script
It's
that I
about
haven't.
cats.
I haven't read this script.
Okay, well, you can trust that I made sure that it was all sound.
Well, guys, it was a total catastrophe at Animal Humane New Mexico after some of their furry friends ran amok. Wow, kittens took over the facility. I'm so mad at you. Kittens took over the facility. We're holding the staff hostage until they raised $5,000 to keep feline kind fed, groomed, and taken care of. The cats sent this ominous message to New Mexicans.
Animal Humane staff is trying to infiltrate, but resistance is futile. Our evil plan is already working perfectly. They can have their precious shelter when our ransom has been paid.
Why do I know that Madison Beats was behind this?
Absolutely.
The cats eventually raised their money and decided to leave the humans alone.
Well, thank goodness that they got all their funds raised and the humans were able to be let out of their cages unharmed. I did change the story because if you guys watch the show with any frequency, you are very aware of the absolute horror that spiders are to me, and I just did not want to start my Friday off with that kind of negativity.
This is really cute.
This is a
Animal
good
Humane.
story. This is
really,
a happy story.
This is a happy story. Very cute. I want to come back to the tarantulas, though.
Can we end the show with that? Then we'll just pull the story over at the end of the show, and we can have a nice little bookend for you. But for right now, we're going to talk about how these vital funds were raised for Animal Humane New Mexico and all the cats in their care, that while they await their forever loving homes, they had the funds needed to take care of them. And just a big hats off to the Animal Humane New Mexico social media and PR team. Like you mentioned, Madison Beats. There's just a whole group of them that come up with really creative, fun, and engaging ways to showcase, the need for adoption and the pets in their care in a really fun way.
They're fantastic at Animal Humane New
Yeah,
Mexico.
we
love them so much. Friends of the show, and they are constantly, promoting, holding events, program like the Educator Open House. Fantastic stuff for pet owners, pets alike. Just helping people out there find that forever loving animal and teaching them how to love them and how to take care of them and all that great
Excellent
stuff.
resource.
Humane education.
Which is really important, right? I think a lot of us are like, we're just going to bring this animal into our home, and as long as we feed it and take it out and love it, it'll be fine. But there are a lot of things you need to know that I know for you and I, we could have definitely done a little bit more research into the dogs that we got prior to getting them. And it was a lot of learning on our feet, right? Trying to figure out how to give this dog their best life. But when you have something like an Educator Open House, when you utilize the resources that Animal Humane has, you already know how to best take care of that animal when you bring them into the home.
Helping so many pet owners out there across the state, just amazing stuff.
For sure. All right, guys. Sorry I changed the story. If you are looking for something to do, here's some local events happening around New Mexico. For those looking to start their week off with a bang, you should go see the rock band Creed. They are performing at the Isleta Amphitheater on Monday, August 4th, as part of their Summer of '99 tour. If you want to check it out, it begins at 7 p.m. You can get tickets online. Mammoth WVH, the son of Eddie Van Halen, is opening along with Daughtry, and then Creed, and I will be there.
I want to sing so bad. Can I?
I know, me too.
Can I? Can you take? Okay, I won't go too much. Or if you're wanting to learn how to make your own music, you should head over to the Taylor Ranch Community Center on Monday for their free ukulele and piano classes. Can you imagine Logan Raider with a ukulele by the campfire and some s'mores vibes? Join them as they learn new chords and play along to favorite songs from the past on the ukulele or piano. Very fun. If you don't have an instrument, don't worry. Ukuleles and keyboards are available to borrow during the class. Just borrow, do not take them. If you want to attend, it's taking place Monday, August 4th at 6:30 p.m. Ukulele might be in my future.
Maybe. Helping others, that is what Joy Junction is all about.
Yeah, and today, as a part of our Hope in Action series, we're hearing from volunteer Erica McBee on how it feels to be able to give back to the community.
Yeah, take a look.
Please volunteer. It is so great. It makes you feel so connected to your community. I feel very much a part of Albuquerque. It's been really good for my daughter also when she's met kiddos who are her age, and we at times have both cried all the way home when we've had an experience where kids have been just so happy to be there, or they tell us something and it's just really hard to know that some of these babies have to sleep on the floor. We're always grateful that they have apartments, but it's just, I can't imagine being 5 years old and in a homeless shelter. I think that would be so hard. But these children have such a good attitude, and they're always so happy to see us, and we always are having a lot of laughs, and I teach them songs, and we always have a craft. They're like, oh, what's our theme tonight? What's our theme today? So it's just the whole time. I love it every time.
For more information on how you can help, go to joyjunction.org.
All right, guys, up next, summer is wrapping up, which means students are gearing up to head back to the classroom.
Yeah, which also means scammers are gearing up to prey on more victims as well. Here we go again. We're talking with Sandia Area Federal Credit Union about scholarship and financial aid scams, how these criminals operate, and what we need to look out for to ensure we don't fall for these schemes. A lot to unpack here, guys. These criminals are getting very clever.
Yeah, they are.
Let's just say that.
Before we get to that, though, we're going to give you a look inside our New Mexico Living Green Room, where our dear friend Rachel Lund is hanging out.
There she is. She will teleport over to the desk when you come back from
momentarily.
Goodwill of New Mexico is the proud coffee mug sponsor for New Mexico Living.
Well, believe it or not, back to school season is here, and with it comes the pressure to pay for everything from school supplies to tuition and textbooks. It adds up fast, and unfortunately, scammers are aware of that.
Yeah, they often use this time of year to target students and families, offering fake scholarships or financial aid in an attempt to steal your money or personal information. Crazy stuff. We are joined by Rachel Lund, Chief Risk Officer at Sandia Area Federal Credit Union, to discuss financial aid and scholarship scams and how to avoid them. Rachel, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for being here. Thank you.
I didn't even know these types of scams existed, so this is actually crazy to me. Can you talk to me about financial and scholarship scams and why it's important to recognize them?
Yeah, so obviously, you know, it's August now, and we're talking back to school, and a lot of people are wondering how they're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times what happens is people will get an offer for a scholarship. Usually it's an offer or a scholarship they didn't apply for. And there will be a request to fill out an application and then to pay an application fee. And then sometimes the scammers right off the bat will ask for your account information, because obviously they need a place to deposit that scholarship money. But then the criminals have your account information.
Wow.
That is crazy to think that, yeah, you're just going through your emails and it's like, hey, you've been selected for this scholarship. And you're like, I don't even know
You're like, lucky me.
what that is. But as we know, you know, that higher education can add up quickly. It's expensive. So a lot of people are looking for that financial relief in any way they can get it. What are things we should look out for when we are applying for scholarships or financial aid?
So like I said, they may be asking you to pay to apply. So sometimes, you know, a university or a college or some institution will ask you to apply for admission, but they're not going to usually ask you to apply for financial aid. So that's something to look out for. Also, just regular phishing emails, sometimes those can come through and seem like a legitimate offer, but they're probably not, especially if it seems too good to be true. Sometimes there's, you know, things that really seem convincing, but you know, if you didn't apply for it, it's probably not real.
Well, and I think there's that running theme of if it's too good to be true, it probably is. I
Right.
think that one does come up a bit.
Right.
Here's a question I got for you. How are these scammers finding the victims? How do they know, oh, this person's going to school? How do they find the victims here?
That's a great question. So they know what you're searching for if you're looking for financial aid, and they can create fake websites that will come up in your searches. So that's one way. And then, you know, providing your email address on that website is not the same as applying for the scholarship, but that's how they can reach out to you later. Sometimes they can find you just over social media or regular phishing emails. Sometimes they purchase student information, they purchase contact information for students, and then not to state the obvious, but the criminals are not honest people, so they may have come across your information illegally.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That's just crazy to think
Wow.
that it's out there for them to be able to find, and so it just really heightens our awareness to be extra safe. What are some things we can do to stay safe as we apply for scholarships or financial aid?
So the first thing is just not to pay as part of the process.
Okay.
So if it's an application fee, if it's a processing fee, if it's a redemption fee, those things are usually red flags that it's not a legitimate opportunity. Another thing you can do is look online and search for that particular scholarship or grant. If other people have applied for it and received it, they will have posted their experience online and you can read about it. That kind of adds some legitimacy to it. The other thing is just don't provide your account information. They'll ask for personal information, don't provide that, but again, don't provide your account information.
Yeah, absolutely.
What should we do if we think we're dealing with a scam here? We're like, okay, I think I'm going to get this financial aid. Wait a minute, something's fishy. What should we do then?
So the first thing to do is stop communicating with whoever it is that has made you this offer. You can block their phone number, you can block their email address. The other thing is if you've made a payment, you can contact your credit union or your bank and let them know, hey, I made this payment. Depending on what format the payment was in, they can put a stop on it. Also, if you've provided your account information, it's a good thing to let your financial institution know, hey, I provided my account information to these scammers, and they can change your account number and make sure that your account is safe going forward. You can also report it to the FTC. They have a website where you can report scams. And then also, I would say just spread the word. Tell people, you know, hey, this happened to me, so that they don't fall for it too.
I see a lot of that stuff on social media too. People will report scams and say, hey, if you come across this, if you get a message, this is not legit. And the power of the spoken word is there.
Right.
So I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Where do we go online to learn a little bit more? We've talked about a lot today.
Yeah, sure. So we have an informational site where we post about a lot of scams and things to look out for. So that's sandia.org/security, where we post information. And then also there's a great website at the FTC website where you can go and learn about scholarship and grant scams specifically.
A lot of good stuff.
A lot of really
Just keeping
important
ourselves
information.
safe.
Yeah, guys, the scammers are they're evolving. They're becoming more and more clever to where they're disguising who they are and able to do all this stuff. So yeah, it's really important to know all this stuff and be aware so you don't fall victim.
Right.
Rachel, thank you so much for coming
being
today.
here.
Thank you.
All right, guys, to watch this entire interview again, head on over to krqe.com, click on that New Mexico Living tab.
Coming up, though, for your health, we're in the kitchen with Dr. Stevie DeJuan Springer, learning more about cancer and the symptoms that it can present.
A really important conversation here, guys. We're even hearing from a cancer survivor about what her journey was like and how she overcame the disease. A lot to unpack here, folks. Do not go anywhere. Stick around.
Slim Chickens is the proud kitchen sponsor for New Mexico Living.
Being in tune with your body, that's what we are diving into today with Dr. Stevie DeJuan Springer.
Yeah, that's right. We're joined by Dr. Stevie DeJuan Springer, along with a cancer survivor, Roseanne Vona Page, talking about what cancer symptoms look like, as well as highlighting nutrition and the role it plays in our overall health. Guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Stevie, maybe a question that we all is kind of, I don't know, we all know the answer to, or maybe it's a common question, I don't know. Why is it important to know just about our overall health and be in tune with our bodies?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having us on. It's always a pleasure to come on and address questions from the community. But you know, I think one of the biggest things that we must become aware of is when we are in tune with our bodies and understanding the overall perspective of health, it is actually understand what your body needs. And the more in tune that we are within our bodies, we can understand how we need to go out and be vigilant with the things that we're doing, the foods that we're eating, the activities that we're a part of. When you break down how your body ingests things, then you're able to really understand the productivity that you're able to do when you're out in the community, when you're at work. And so I produced a book called Health Matters. And so in that book, I talk about adolescents, I talk about teens, I talk about elderly, adults, and how we need to actually be really, really particular about the things that we eat, about how we treat our bodies. And so health needs to matter, and it needs to matter beyond the perspective of what we need to do that day just to get to work, what we need to do that day just to get to an activity, or what we need to do just to get through the day and have sleep. We really need to be mindful of the things that we're doing throughout the day.
You know, and I think people can look at our health as this big complex thing. It doesn't necessarily always have to be, but one thing that is complex that we're going to address today is cancer specifically, and just kind of how cancer symptoms present themselves. Can we talk about that?
Sure. So some of the signs that you always want to be aware of course, is chronic fatigue, persistent pain, unusual bleeding, or skin lump changes may indicate early cancer. And so when you are recognizing some of these areas of concern, then you want to make sure that you have routine screenings like mammograms, colonoscopies, a PSA test, and blood work detects cancer early. There's some things that we look within panels that allows us to know whether or not we have tumors that are building up. And so when you have these type of maybe family history of cancer in some areas, will also allow us to know if we need to have screenings. But we need to always be aware of some of these signs and symptoms. And a lot of the signs and symptoms bleed into other areas that you may be having, if it's hypertension, if it's diabetes, if it's you know, any other area that dealing with high blood pressure. And so any of these concerns, you need to get in and receive screenings.
Absolutely. Roseanne, I want to talk to you. You're a two-time cancer survivor. Oh my gosh, that's...
Congratulations.
Yeah. Can you just talk to us about your journey and what you went through with these cancer diagnoses?
So I was diagnosed initially in 2016, and I didn't really have any symptoms. Wow. That's the scary thing.
Really?
And I remember I was going to lunch with my husband, Paul, and I took a shower. I said, can I take a shower? Because I was at an event in the beginning of the day. And I just happened to feel something that wasn't right. And so I said to him, this really doesn't feel right. And he said, get a mammogram. Because I had missed my mammogram because of work, because I was so busy with what I was doing that I just neglected to have it done.
Sure.
And it was so important because there it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that initial diagnosis and kind of how you were proactive in making sure that you were going to beat this cancer.
Well, I started treatment right away as soon as I had my mammogram, and I let them know that I thought that I may have something going on. And so they took me in right away. They were very good. And it's kind of a process, and it can be a little bit disconcerting, but with me, it was like I trusted my doctors and the people who surrounded me, and so I felt like I was getting good care, and that's important.
It is important, absolutely.
What was the journey like? Once you got the cancer to beating it, what was the journey like in between?
So I had radiation, and I had the tumor removed. I had surgery the first time, not the second time. But I didn't have chemo, which my dear sweet cousin Elaine had chemo, and she lost her hair and everything. And I was so concerned about losing my hair. But I didn't have the BRCA, the BRCA gene. She had it because it was on her mother's side, and I'm on her father's side. But they do all that testing for you. You don't really have to think about it. And so I got that treatment, and after that treatment was done, they didn't see any more issue. But I did have an MRI, and the MRI found a tumor under my left side, because the tumor on my right side was visible. But the one on my left side was tucked under the muscle, and it wasn't visible on the ultrasounds and all that other stuff that they do.
Well, you're here today, a two-time cancer survivor, which is absolutely beautiful. And I just have to ask anyone out there that's watching this interview that is going through their own cancer battle or knows somebody that is, what advice would you give to them to just stay strong during the process?
I would say make sure that you exercise and eat well. and just take care of yourself
Yeah.
because you're going to make it. We have lots of treatments now, like mine, which is targeted therapy. It's not the kind of chemo that will kill all the cells.
Okay.
It only goes to the cells that are cancer cells, and it dissolves the protein so that the cancer cell can't live. It's amazing. I don't know how they discovered it.
We love the modern medicine.
Absolutely. You said eat well really quickly. Got about 30 seconds here. Can you talk to us about the food you got right here?
Absolutely. So then I have some, a list of things there that you can definitely be a part of, partake in. These are some wonderful treats. We have a dipped dark chocolate bananas, which is a really good treat for cancer patients if you're in treatment or even remission. And then Miss Roseanne cooked some wonderful blueberry pancakes. Miss Roseanne, what do you have here on the...
I have pancakes with blueberries, and berries are really important to cancer patients because they have antioxidants and they really help to keep your cells healthy, and that's what we want to do.
Absolutely.
Great. And they're also made with what kind of flour?
Cake flour.
Yeah, they look delicious. Yeah. They look super fluffy. I just kind of want to like touch one.
Yes, guys, thank you so much for coming in today, Stevie. A lot of really important information. Roseanne, thank you so much for telling us your story. Congratulations. You're a true warrior. It was great having you on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Yes, guys, it was great having you here today. All right, for more information on this entire interview, guys, head on over to krqe.com. Click on that New Mexico Living tab.
Stay with us. There is more New Mexico Living when we return after the short break.
Garcia Subaru is the proud pet pick sponsor for New Mexico Living.
Time now for the Garcia Subaru Pet Pick.
All right, today's dynamic duo reminds me of something out of a comic book.
Right.
Believe it or not. There they are. Yeah, meet Tulip and Chester Cheeto. These best buds are owned by Stephen Latham. Talk about a hilarious pairing right
I love it here, though. Look at this uncanny friendship. Tulip is a 5-year-old Chihuahua mix rescued from the Humane Society, and Chester Cheeto is a crested gecko.
Chester kind of got some crazy eyes.
He definitely does. This looks like a photo that could have been taken in the early days of their friendship where they were unsure about one another, and now they're best buds.
Yeah, Tulip
love
and Chester
it.
Cheeto.
Thank you.
Where do we go to make the comic book? Where do we go to make the animated movie?
I would read that for sure.
Tulip and Chester Cheeto. It's Pixar's next movie.
All right, guys. If you would like for us to feature your pet, it is very simple. Head over to krqe.com and click on the New Mexico Living tab. Then click on the Send Us Your Pet Pics tab. Tell us all about your pet and submit a photo.
All right, time for our New Mexico United fan pick of the day now.
Yes, this one comes from the Ultimate Fan section. This here is Rachel James.
Sick.
She's clearly a New Mexico United supporter. This picture was taken in the fan section that gets rowdier than any other area of the stadium.
Yeah, this is where the curse sit, and if you've ever been to a New Mexico United game, you know just how crazy this section gets. Only for the diehards in there for sure.
That's an awesome picture.
Yeah, thanks for submitting that picture, Rachel. Looks great. Somos Unidos. Love it. If you would like for us to feature your New Mexico United fan pick like Rachel's, it's simple. Head over to krqe.com. Click on that New Mexico Living tab. Then click on the Send Us Your New Mexico United fan picks tab. Tell us all about your picture, and then hit submit.
All right, guys. Still to come, music.
Albuquerque Florist is the proud set flowers sponsor for New Mexico Living.
It's music that evokes memories of all the good times. Is there a song or band that when you hear them, it takes you back to simpler times?
For sure.
Yeah, of course. Well, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band most definitely does that for so many people.
Yeah, from Fishin' in the Dark, Mr. Bojangles, An American Dream, and more, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band has been creating music for decades that has stood the test of time, and now the band is hitting the road one last time for an epic farewell tour.
Yeah, it's called All the Good Times, the Farewell Tour. It's making a stop right here in the Duke City, so I had the opportunity to sit down with Russ Holmes, who plays the fiddle and the mandolin in the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, talking about what it means to hit the road one last time with such an iconic group of musicians. This is awesome. Take a look. Do you guys have music that you listen to where it makes you think of all the good times? I know you're thinking of a band right now in particular. It's in your head. Well, guess what? The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. They're one of those bands with all those bangers, and they're coming to Albuquerque as part of their farewell tour. So, lucky for us today, we are joined by fiddle and mandolin player for the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. That's Ross Holmes, talking all about this tour and what it's like for him to be a part of this legendary band. Ross, thank you for joining us, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, we're very excited to be headed to New Mexico to Albuquerque as part of this tour.
This is going to be nothing but good vibes for everybody in attendance. The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. My goodness, this band has been around since 1966. You joined the band in 2018, and wow, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band has provided so many people with so many amazing feel-good songs that really just get them just thinking nostalgia, thinking about all those good times. And that's the name of the tour, All the Good Times, the Farewell Tour. Before we get to the tour, though, I want to talk to you personally about your career in music and what it was like for you back in 2018 when you got the phone call that the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band wanted you to be a part of the band.
Well, it was certainly a big moment. You know, for me, I think for many people that have grown up in what we fondly call Americana music, whether that's bluegrass or folk or blues, Southern rock, country music, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band has, for decades, had such a massive presence. And so I grew up in Texas, and Nitty Gritty Dirt Band was one of my parents' favorite bands, and was certainly on all the radio stations that we listened to. House in Nashville. It would be a couple of doors down from Jamie Hanna, 2 doors down, who's the son of Jeff Hanna, who founded the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. So before I even started playing in the band, we were hanging out with barbecue cookouts and jams in the backyard, and they became friends. And so when I started playing with the band, it was, funny enough, a very natural sort of progression. It was very comfortable. We had played music together. But once you step up on stage with such icons and legends, everything sort of like my perspective shifted. Instead of these guys just being buddies, that I was actually experiencing this great privilege of being on stage with them.
Man, just a remarkable journey for you. From when you started to getting here now is absolutely fantastic. You joined, and I believe that Jamie joined the band the same year you joined the band. So it's
totally
incredible. So Jeff Hanna, founder of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, brings his son on, brings you on at the same time, and then you guys hit the ground running. What has the experience been like ever since you joined the band?
It's been so singular and unique to be a part of this group because there's a very clear generational difference in the two of us young guys in the band and the guys that started the group, and a couple between that have been with the band for decades. But it's different because, you know, we tour like most other bands. You know, we're on a bus. We play a lot of the same theaters and venues, travel the same highways, eat at the same restaurants. But for people who come to the shows, and there are so many people that attend these concerts that saw the band in the 60s and 70s, and so many people that weren't even born like us, who are familiar with the band's later stuff like Fishin' in the Dark, and so many great songs. I mean, Jeff Hanna wrote God Bless the Broken Road. People don't even realize that the song that Rascal Flatts made so big, that was originally Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Whoa! And we all know that song. You guys know that song the minute it comes on. And you said Jeff Hanna's the one who wrote God Bless the Broken Road, yes?
Yeah. Totally.
Oh, man. So we're talking about legendary status stuff here. And yeah, you mentioned Fishing in the Dark. I was just camping last weekend. We had Fishing in the Dark on the aux every other song. It is an absolute vibe. The name of the tour now, because this tour is making a stop here in Albuquerque. It's called All the Good Times, the Farewell Tour. A perfect name here because you listen to the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and you think of all those good times you had with your friends, your family, your loved ones. It invokes so many memories, right? Let's talk about the tour and what people are going to be in store for when they come out and attend this thing.
We're so excited to take our favorite songs from this deep catalog of the Dirt Band's history and share them with everybody. You know, they're one of the few groups out there that have had major success in pop, rock, and country music. And so for this farewell tour, it's been really fun to sculpt our sets to reflect not only the songs that we want to play as a band, because they're just really fun to play, but also what we think, kind of construct it based on those parameters. And it's been really, really fun to dive into this music and certainly jam away on the songs that are expected of us.
Man, like I said, it's going to be One heck of a time for everybody in attendance. And yeah, there's so many great songs from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. We're talking Fishing in the Dark, An American Dream, Long Hard Road, Modern Day Romance, Mr. Bojangles. Come on, these are all bangers that y'all are going to get to experience here in person. Before I wrap this whole conversation up, Ross, I got a question for you. If there's someone out there who's watching this today and they want to be a musician, they want to make a name for themselves, just like you, what's your secret to success? What advice would you have for that boy or that girl who wants to make it in the music industry like you have?
That's a really, really great question. And there are an infinite number of ways to find success in any industry, but certainly the fine arts, the music industry. If there's one thing that I could say that I have found to be true, is make music honestly, and that's it. If you're pursuing music, which I believe is a sacred task. Do it honestly. It's easy to hear music and go, man, that artist is doing it because this is a product that can make money. But those aren't the songs I believe that necessarily last and that really touch us. And so for me, and it took a lot of years to figure it out. You know, I was young once and really wanted to play the game of the music industry, and was probably egotistical to a point, but I had to live some life and go through some stuff and realize that making music for me really just came down to being as honest as possible through my instrument, through my songwriting, through my singing, whatever it is. And that would be the advice I would tell young people or anyone wanting to make music.
That was beautifully said. Make music honestly, guys. Sit on that, resonate, think about that. Yeah, that's some words to live by right there. All right, Ross, really quickly before we go, let's get the details. When is the tour stopping in Albuquerque? Where are y'all headed? What time is the show? Give us those details.
Yeah, so we're going to be in Albuquerque on August 9th at the Kiva Theater. I think doors are probably at 7. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm not the best with timing. Okay. In fact, I'm really pleased that I made it on time for the Zoom today. Man. But yeah, it's going to be a great stop. We're so excited to be back in New Mexico and see so many friends and new faces out in the crowd. It's going to be a blast.
All the good times, the farewell tour with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Fiddle and mandolin player Ross Holmes, thank you so much for joining us today. Go rock it on the stage, man, and just keep doing what you're doing. You are killing the game, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. We'll see you at the show.
A great interview.
Wow.
A very nice
that
guy.
Was fun.
Yeah, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band's All the Good Times Farewell Tour will be making a stop at the Kiva Auditorium on August 9th. You can, of course, find your tickets online now.
Of course, and to see my entire interview with Ross Holmes from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, head over to KRQB.com, click on that New Mexico Living tab. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The County Line is the proud loft sponsor for New Mexico Living.
Okay, guys, it's time to take a look at what is trending. This story is insane.
I'm a victim.
A popular beverage brand is warning consumers that some of its energy drink cans may accidentally contain alcohol.
I'm a victim.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced Wednesday that High Noon is issuing a recall for certain cases of its Beach Variety 12-pack cans. The recall notice says they were incorrectly labeled as Celsius Astro Vibe energy drink, Sparkling Blue Raz Edition cans. The affected cans have a silver lid instead of a black one. They were shipped to several states across the Northeast, Midwest, and Southwest. So far, no illnesses have been reported.
Okay.
So for me, this is absolutely insane because like 13-year-olds drink Celsius. Like, could you imagine if there was a 13-year-old out there just like drinking a High Noon?
I drink Celsius every day, and I had one of the Astro Vibe ones 2 days ago. I thought something was amiss. Something was awry. Strange things were afoot at the Circle K.
Yeah, strange things were afoot at the Circle K.
Yeah, this is absolutely
insane. This is hysterical to me. So I kind of want to know, is this like a disgruntled employee that was like, I'll show them, we will put alcohol in the energy drink?
It's like, I'll show them, and then it's like a tasty treat for everyone who got the Celsius. Like, come on now. I couldn't imagine buying a Celsius and also getting a High Noon. Lucky me.
One time Logan brought a beer to work, and that was kind of funny.
Let me quickly tell you this story. We have 1 minute. So I used to work early. I would get to work at 4:30, which means I wake up at about 3:30 in the morning, leave the house by about 4:15, get into work, whatever. Super tired one day. I thought I grabbed my energy drink out of the fridge. I put it into my cup holder in my car. I drive all the way to work, okay? Park. I take my energy drink out of the cup holder, walk all the way into KRQE, sit down at my desk, put my drink down. Cool. Log in, start doing my thing. Click, click, open my stuff, get my stuff going. Email, EMPS, here we go, we're doing it. Go to crack open my energy drink, look down, and what am I looking at? An Elephants on Parade beer. I grabbed the drink immediately.
I don't know why I think this story is so funny.
If only we could have had the video cameras. I got up, I said, oh my gosh. And I was gone. And I was gone. And I hightailed the beer back to the car, and that's my story.
And he was really worried he was going to get fired.
I didn't, thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. Then I would just be sitting here talking to myself.
You'd be lonely.
I would be very lonely. All right, guys, do not change the channel.
We'll be right back.
All right, guys, if you missed anything you want to see more of today's show,
it's easy. Head over to KRQE.com, click on that New Mexico Living tab. That's where you can look at our catalog of pet pics, interviews, links for our guest appearances, local events calendar, so much more. Let's just address the elephant in the room. I'm getting pretty sweaty. I'm pretty shiny.
I don't think the viewer can tell.
Can y'all tell?
No.
You
just blotted your head.
I had a coffee. I had a coffee and then a sugar-free Rockstar.
Ugh,
Mistake.
do you guys drink those Rockstars? They're terrible.
Mistake.
Absolutely gross.
I'm internally on fire.
Well, that's your own fault. Goodbye.
Have a great
See you
weekend.
Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Have a great weekend.
Need to call.